Hello everyone. So today I want to hop on live. It's been a little while since I've been on live, and I plan to put this on YouTube as well at some point. You guys kind of know how I operate for the most part now, but today I wanted to talk about witchcraft or spell work, whatever you want to call it, that everyone does, but maybe they don't realize that they're doing witchcraft, or they're unaware and things like that. And please feel free to comment in the comments below things that you've noticed that people do that are witchcraft or spell work, and then I'll open up to Q&A at the end if anybody chooses to participate. So one of the first things is, this might be news to some, but if you've ever blown out birthday candles, guess what, friend? You did witchcraft. You witch or wizard you. No, I'm just kidding. If you've ever blown out birthday candles, you've done witchcraft. You've cast a spell. That is candle magic. Where do you think that came from? When you are lighting a candle and putting a wish or an intention, especially during the time of your birthday or around your birthday and the power that comes with it, that is spell work. That is witchcraft. Hi. And so when you are blowing out a birthday candle, that in my view and how I've been taught is a way of adding your breath into that energy, and then it goes up to source, to creator, to the universe. Now, and some people are really hard in the belief that you don't blow out your candles if it has magic or an intention in it. That's fine if that's your belief. They say to smudge it out. I disagree. You know, I've been doing candle magic for decades now, and even the mentor who taught me, you guys probably know by now, Goddess Rhonda, you know, there weren't always things to smudge out candles around, but candle magic is still one of my strongest modalities and forms of power, and I blow it out sometimes because remember, it's an intention, right? So if you have the mindset and the belief that blowing it out is going to ruin the intention and say that the spell is no more, then guess what? So it is. But if you have the intention that putting your breath into it is adding to it, contributing to it, and that the etheric flame is continuing to work as the smoke is going up, then so it is, because that is your belief. Hey, Raina, do you want to join in? Let me know in the comment. We're talking about witchcraft that everyone does, but they don't even realize. Thank you. Looking good as always. Thank you. Let me know if you want to join in. I'll add you. But if not, that's cool. But like I was saying, so my belief is that breath added to it is the element of air, which contributes to the magic and sends it up. Some people may disagree, and that's fine. You know, spirituality is custom, right? We talk about that, and what your belief is, you know, is so shall it is, because that's where the power is in your belief. So when we blow out birthday candles, that is candle magic, and most of us have all done it at some point in life. So we've done spell work before, but we do use that breath element in blowing out the birthday candles to cast the spell for the magic. Because when you use a candle for candle magic, it's going to symbolize all the elements. The candle itself is earth. Then when you light the match or a lighter, that is fire, but also air touches it, which makes the fire ignite. When the wax is melting, that is symbolizing water, the liquid. And then at the end, if you choose to blow it out at some point because for safety or another reason or something like that, that still adds air to it. But I would just say, make a mental note to say out loud or think in your mind that the etheric flame is continuing. The etheric flame is continuing the work. And you can always come back and relight it, and it's a continuous process. Like I said, some people think that you can't blow it out and that messes it up, but that's only if you believe that, then so it is. If you believe it's continuing, then so it is. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying this to say that birthday candles is a form of magic that everyone does and may not realize, but it is including that breath of air element into the spell process. You have some time in the next. Okay. Do you, let me see. Send me a request. I don't know. Let me see. How do I add you, Raina? Send me a request. I think you have to request to join. But yeah. And feel free to comment below things that other people do, things that everybody does that they may not realize that it's magic. Okay, I think I accepted it. Let me see. Nope. Did I? There we go.
Hey. Hey.
So for those of you,
I was like, oh, my fave is going live. Let me join.
Yes, I'm glad you did. So for those of you who don't know, this is Raina, aka Raina LaFlame.
Hi.
She is my co-host, one of my co-hosts on the Bridge Between podcast, and she's a talented reader as well, so you can book her for readings also.
Thank you.
So Raina, today I'm talking about witchcraft that everyone does that they don't realize is witchcraft. And so I already gave the example of birthday candles. That's candle magic. Mm-hmm. So all of you who are like, witchcraft is evil.
Every
you've
birthday,
done witchcraft. Every birthday.
I was going to say, all you religious folk that pray over your meal, that's some witchcraft right there. You guys are putting intention into your food and, filling it with whatever energy you want it to be. So, we do magic all the time. People that knock on wood, like, when you say something bad, it's like, oh, knock on wood, or like knock on their head. Like, that's a little bit of witchcraft. Like, that's a little spell that we do. Hey, Tony. Hi, Tony. My friend Tony joined.
Hi, Tony.
Tone, as I like to call him.
Yes. So those are good examples too. And again, magic, spell work, witchcraft, whatever, hoodoo, whatever, is neither good or bad. It's all intention work. So it's the intention of the person doing it that makes it positive or negative, light or dark, so hey, and you guys can comment below too things that you notice that people do that is witchcraft or spell work and they may not realize. So those are great examples. Another one I wanted to throw out there is cheersing.
Oh, yes.
When you cheers and then you take your drink in, that is programming. That is charming something. So when you're like, cheers to prosperity and love and to the happy couple or whatever, you're putting that energy into the liquid you're going to drink. And a lot of the time, most of the time, it's alcohol. Why? Because that is what we call spirits.
Yes.
When you are drinking alcohol, you are opening yourself up spiritually to other realms, other entities, however you choose to take that. Let's say positive in this case. You're opening yourself up spiritually. That's why they call alcohol spirits. And some restaurants, when they say, like, you'll see on the menu, it says spirits. That is why. So it's a spirit in your drink. And so you're programming it, and then you drink it and you take it in, which then also is part of the manifestation process, within, without, within goes out, whatever. So that is another form of witchcraft that people do, and they don't even realize. They just do it because they've seen people do it, or it's tradition.
Yeah, and I think alcohol in like Sanskrit actually translates to spirit. So that's another like translation that it means spirit. And also it's like, you notice there's people that get drunk and they're like, oh, my alter ego comes out. That's like a spirit coming through, like taking them over, and then they blame it on like, oh, my alter ego. Like, no, something's deciding to hop in you because you're not, being intentional with your cheersing, and you're just sipping these drinks, and then all of a sudden you're like, I would never do that. Well, you did.
When I wasn't in my right mind, people say. So be cautious of the energy, vibration you're in when you are drinking, because they are spirits.
Yes.
So like obviously if you're in a happy place, let's hope for that, and you're in a good mental capacity when you're drinking, you're taking in spirits, you know, it could open up to positive things. You still want to be
Mm-hmm.
mindful. You don't want to overdo it to where you're out of self, you could say. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're depressed and you're trying to cover up those emotions with drinking, you open yourself up for some of the negative spirits to just prey on you, take hold on you. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just be cautious. Isn't wait, okay. Isn't boring wait, I don't. Isn't blowing out a candle for birthday cake on sorry, I'm trying to read it. Isn't blowing out a candle for birthday cake one while everyone is singing happy birthday one too? Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a ritual we all do.
Yep, yep. Um Speaking of singing happy birthday to that person, yes, that is also part of a ritual. Um Even in the sense of like certain concerts too, because you just brought this up to me. Attending a concert can be witchcraft and a ritual that people don't realize. You
Yes.
know, certain I'm not gonna name names, but certain some of y'all's favorite, one of them, um, who recreated his childhood home on stage, and the church he used to go to, you know, you guys can probably fit together the pieces. That was a ritual. That was him summoning a spirit, his mother's spirit, on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes going to even just a concert can be witchcraft without people even knowing or realizing.
Us
Um,
chanting their names, like you chant like a person's name over. Oh, my cat's joining.
hey
Us,
friend.
I know. He's like I'm witchcraft too. Hi Juju. But that's definitely high shares on. Um, it's definitely types of witchcraft when we're like chanting and putting our energy out there. That's why there's artists that feel like, oh, when I'm on stage, I get like a high. Like, yeah, we're all like focusing on you and like focusing on your energy and like building it up more and more. So it's
Yeah,
just we got to be intentional and careful.
yeah. Another one, this might ruffle some feathers, but guess what, y'all? I'm gonna say it. It's winter solstice season, Christmas time at the time of me filming this, Yule season. Um, my friends, especially the religious folk, like this is just not to like come at y'all, but to open your eyes a little bit. Um, if you put up a Christmas tree every year, friend, that is witchcraft.
Let them
That
know.
comes
Let them know.
Christmas is 100% pagan. And pagan just means that it's not the what's the word, one of the most accepted religions. So like Christianity, Islam, things like that. Pagan is basically any other spiritual beliefs kind of outside of that. So ancient certain ancient European cultures, I know some of them are like from Germany and some of them are from other places. They have these Yule traditions during the winter solstice. One of them was the Yule tree, which we now call a Christmas tree because the Yule traditions got Christianized to convert people.
Mm-hmm.
But a Christmas tree is 100% witchcraft. I'm not gonna I don't know all the specifics, but I do know that it has to do with evergreens. And evergreens represent rebirth, and they represent everlasting, evergreen. And they also represent, you know, prosperity and protection and all of these things. Because during the winter solstice, when people were fighting to survive because of the elements and crops were dying off and things like that, you know, they would put up the Yule trees as well to help bring in that energy of rebirth to a new beginning as the solstice is changing, the seasons are changing. So ask yourself, what the heck does a Christmas tree have to do with Jesus? It
Yes.
doesn't.
It
It doesn't.
doesn't. It doesn't.
It's a spell, it's witchcraft.
Yes, and also I would say the on New Year when we all count down to the new year, like set our New Year's intentions, like that's a spell. You guys are intentionally like doing witchcraft on the new year to call in this energy. Like that's super pagan as well. And also I think it's just the fact that people don't realize the origins of these holidays. Like Easter, I found out that Easter, you know how we look for Easter eggs? That has to do with the goddess Ishtar,
Yep.
like the goddess of fertility. And because I was like, where did this bunny come from? And the bunny represents Ishtar. And it was paganism. It was a pagan religion. You know what I mean? And we're just like, oh, let's just look for the eggs. Like,
yeah, and also Easter changes every year because it's following the moon cycle. Witchcraft. That's why Easter's not on the same day every year.
see, I didn't even know that. I was like, why does it always change? See, look,
Every holiday that we celebrate, at least in the U.S., because I don't know some of the holidays in other places,
mm-hmm.
I'm that person that I'm gonna look into why, because I'm like, why the heck do we do this?
Yes.
And so I learned a lot about Easter in that regard too. But yeah, Easter is not on the same day every year because it's following the moon cycle, and and when the sun, it has to do with the sun. Also, the sun cycles around that time as well. Why?
Because like the sun sets for 3 days and it comes back.
Yeah,
so whatever that day it comes back.
During the winter solstice or winter, and if I'm wrong and you have more knowledge, please feel free to comment. I have basic knowledge. So at some point, it's almost as though it's like some of the darkest nights of the year, and then the celebration is when the sun rises again. It begins to move. That all has to do with Easter, the pagan side of Easter that then got Christianized. So basically, any holiday, most of them that we celebrate are pagan, and then they just slap Jesus on top to help convert people later on.
Yeah, and like Jesus's birthday being Christmas, that just reminded me, like the winter solstice starts and the sun gets to the lowest position it can be in the sky for 3 days. And how long was Jesus down? 3 days.
Yeah.
And then it rises again, and that's when we celebrate. You know what I mean? It's like we're actually celebrating the sun. No, sir.
Yep. Also kind of going back to Christmas too, the wreath on the door is for protection as well. It used to be called a Yule wreath. Now it's called a holiday wreath or Christmas wreath. And if you're super in those traditions, like you might add things like cinnamon or oranges to it, as well as the evergreens, to add in some of those spiritual elements. But it's for protection. And that's why it goes on the door too. Mistletoe and holly.
Yes.
Also spell work. Holly is the one with the red and the spiky things, right?
Yes. Yep.
Those are supposed to represent the divine masculine energy and protection from evil spirits from coming around during this time. And then the mistletoe, I think that has some white in it too. The berries or whatever it is represent the divine feminine energy, which represents fertility and creativity and rebirth, and the goddess earth energy for bringing back life into things. So these are all,
and people kiss under mistletoe, like that's a ritual.
Yeah, that's a ritual. And it's a fertility ritual.
Yeah,
so be careful who you're kissing under that mistletoe, y'all.
Yeah, you might be kissing into some more than just that kiss.
Yes. So all of those, and like you said, knocking on wood, certain kinds of wood are meant to have manifestation properties and things like that. So, these things that we do just cause, what's the other one? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can hurt me. All of those things. These are rituals. What's the other one? I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say rubs off to me and sticks to you. That's a spell, y'all.
Dang, that was deep. That was scary.
People used to say that when I was little. But that's all spell work, you guys. So these are the ones that came to mind for me. Is anything else that came to mind for you?
I'm trying to think of another one. For sure, the New Year's stuff. Like everybody does New Year's rituals that they don't even realize. I'm trying to think of another one. What's another one? I was gonna say when you were talking about holly, also holly was very much used by the Druids, which were like Nordic wizards and witches, and they would use holly to like confuse their enemies as well. So like it's for protection and also for like it like confuses people. It increases like people's confusion so they can get lost and like not pay attention to things. That's another thing. What also I think we need to understand that like paganism was popular. That's why all of these traditions switched. Like Christianity adapted all these traditions because we wouldn't be. Everyone didn't want to take down their Yule tree. They're like, "What do you mean we can't have a tree on Christmas?" You know, like this was so popular back then that they had to incorporate the Yule tree, the wreath into Christianity to get people to convert fully because there's certain things that people still like to do, and I think it's just important to realize that you know these things come from a place that we may not understand, and we should look into them and talk about it with people because we're doing so much magic that we don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I would say I would say maybe Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Christmas lights for sure is one. Like lighting the way, lighting the path in a sense. What else? I feel like Thanksgiving low-key is an evil ritual. I'm like, just throw that out there. Because if you think about it, we're celebrating the murder and genocide of all these people every year. And it's like, that's not okay. Like, we're all eating and cheersing on this day.
But people don't know that because they were taught a lie in history when they were kids. This is why we're trying to correct now. You know, Thanksgiving needs to be rebranded, period. It needs to be rebranded, redone, just like Columbus Day needs to go away. It's being rebranded for the most part as Indigenous Peoples Day, thank goodness. But yeah, my advice to everyone is, in particular when it comes to these holidays or this traditions that we do, like blowing out birthday candles, cheersing, like ask yourself why. Start looking into these origins as to why, because it comes from back in the day, everybody was all into magic, doing magic. You know what I mean? So it all comes from these things. I can't think of anything else at the top of my head right now, but if anybody, once this is posted, you can continue in the comments below. That's all I have for now, but thank you so much for joining, Raina. I appreciate it.
Oh, I just thought of one really quick. Valentine's Day, how we give each other little gifts for Valentine's Day. Like, that's cute. And we talk about Cupid. Cupid was like an angel that was like shooting arrows at people of love. Like, that's little magic, us giving our, like, be mine, be my Valentine. Like,
trying to do some love spells up on people.
Yes, without even them knowing it. So, of course, thank you for having me. You know, I had to jump on. I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a good one."
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm gonna post this up on my page for a while and then hopefully try to find a way to get it up on YouTube also. And you guys, if you want to check out Raina, her IG is at Raina LaFlame.
Check me out.
Yeah, and you can book her for readings too. And I will talk to y'all later.